Hello, one and all. Welcome back to the final part of Campaign 14, Dubious Claims. I'm your host, as always, Virinity Void. And yes, we have arrived at 1807. The forecast sets us off into 1820. And we will be finishing this campaign in earnest because, as I mentioned before in previous parts, this campaign is not bound by Doge's Shattered Europa. This campaign is bound by Vanilla EU4. There are no extra technologies beyond what is already in Vanilla. There is only the standard 32 technologies, as you can see over here. Only goes up to 32. There are no additional units to go afterwards, no nothing. So we will be seeing the very end of this campaign soon enough. Now, to read some national ideas, I think we owe it to ourselves to finish off with Sumeru. And you know what? I'll even throw another for good measure. I'll read some of... No, Kyderia did not have localization. I'll read actually Shuravia's... Yeah, I'll read the rest of Shuravia, and I will read the rest of Sumeru. Let's do Shuravia first, because they have a very long, or they have regular descriptions, they're like regular length. So the fifth national idea of Shuravia is Vivat visiem vam doroge moi Shuravi. I very much butchered that, I'm sorry. From the Black Sea in the south to the Arctic Ocean in the north, from the western fields to the eastern taiga, from our bustling cities to the untamed steppe, the Shuravians live on, and the Shuravian army stand above all. Morale of armies, plus 15%. The sixth national idea of Shuravia is Table of Ranks. From private to marshal, the Shuravian soldier knows his place. Where a deer wouldn't dare go, the Shuravian soldier will. Each soldier has a rank and place in our army, a place of his own, and each of them ensures our army is better organized than others. Yearly army tradition decay, minus 1%. And the final national idea of Shuravia is the southern breadbasket. Our vast lands and population of millions requires a lot of food. Luckily, God has given the people of Shuravia the most fertile land, the Chernozem, which ensures that the lands of Ukraine will keep our people fed in the harshest of times. Production efficiency plus 15%. And the ambition of Shuravia is tolerance of the true faith plus 3. Now for Sumeru, the dominant Asian power, the fifth national idea of Sumeru is citizenship contracts. We managed to convince the Hedamites that life in Sumeru City isn't so bad. We managed to secure a pretty good contract with them in exchange for a full citizenship. Mercenary maintenance minus 50%. The sixth national idea is fertile soil, productive people. The lands of Sumeru house some extremely productive ecosystems, and our people are hard-working and at ease in nature. A perfect combination. Goods produced plus 1.5 flat. And the last national idea of Sumeru is harsh terrain. Caverns, jungles, and sand dunes are our home. We know how to move in them. They do not. Manpower and primary culture provinces plus 12.5%. And the ambition of Sumeru is minus 2 national unrest. Alright, let's get to it. Final part of this campaign. Here we go. Keep at speed 3 for a little bit. And there is a peace deal. Tennis Ball pieced out of that huge war with Fontaine and Mondstadt. And well, Tennis Ball sliced the land connection between the two powers in half. Mondstadt is no longer connected to Fontaine's mainland, and Mondstadt did lose a little bit of land. It is highly developed land, of course, but it is land nonetheless. So I would say that that kind of spells it all out. Fontaine and Mondstadt they cannot stand up to the likes of tennis ball. The previous, like, 2 to 3 parts kind of showed that, you know, Western Europe is dominated by these two powers, but now with part 16 and this here part 17, we should all effectively know that tennis ball is the dominant power in all of Europe. They will not be able to integrate Koini by the end of this part, but, you know, it's still... Koini is in no way rebellious. And it's the same thing with Donauland. Donauland is in no way rebellious. And now Bulgaria is leaping on the fact that Mondstadt is pretty weak. Mondstadt just got done with that war, and Fontaine still trying to back Mondstadt up, but you got 900, almost a million Bulgarians coming down on your land, and then you got 700,000 Shuravians about to invade. Fontaine, good luck propping up Mondstadt. You're gonna need the luck, because this is gonna get hot and heavy really fucking quick. I don't know how you're gonna do this. Oh my goodness! And you still got Koini here with with some troops in Ferrara. I think you kind of need to move that, but if you don't want to move that, you're just gonna take attrition. That defensiveness from Mondstadt too is pretty terrible. But I guess you could say that, you know, it's more so Bulgarian siege ability is immensely powerful. In terms of the quality between these two, discipline favors Bulgaria, morale favors Fontaine, tactics favors Bulgaria. So Fontaine's going to be taking some heavy losses in these fights, which, you know, they don't have a manpower pool to take those losses. Bulgaria does. Bulgaria has over 450,000 reserve manpower troops to draw upon. Shuravia, over 180,000 in the manpower reserve. Mondstadt, nothing. They're going to be using all that manpower really quickly. And Fontaine has less than 100,000 manpower. Fontaine's going to be using that really quickly too. And this also isn't to speak of like, oh no, never mind. I thought Fontaine might be in a little bit of debt, but no. They have so much money. And so does Mondstadt. Mondstadt has so much money. So does Tennis Ball. Just look at that. Look at that. So much fucking cash. They are the Scrooge McDuck diving into a pile of gold coins, kind of rich. And, you know, huge battle right here. Fontaine and Mondstadt, they tried their damnedest, but Treviso favors Bulgaria, and Bulgaria is not going to have any mercy. Ferrara is sieged down. They're going to need to get the province of Brescia sieged down as well. Augsburg is being besieged. It's falling apart. It's all just falling apart. Another big battle in the Italian peninsula, and finally Bulgaria gets pushed back. It's about time, but okay, cool. You win one battle. This is one piece of the wider war, and oh my goodness, I don't know how you're gonna bounce back, Mondstadt and Fontaine. I want to see you bounce back, but I don't know. Also, the game is starting to really lag, even though it's at speed 3. What is going on? No, this is the only war. This is the only war. Oh my god. I think it's because they're probably recruiting so many fucking troops. I think that might be it. Also, Sumru is recruiting a lot of troops. Gotcha. Also, Sumru is guaranteeing the Timurids and warning Ardalan. That's kind of interesting. I want to see Sumru's troop count real quick. 1.4 million. Yeah, or if you want to go by thousands, 1.4 thousand troops. Japan, 300,000 troops. Loibuk, I'm surprised Loibuk can put up 800,000. That is very surprising. Kaideria doing their own thing. Potawatomi finally being annexed, and they're not going to be annexed within this part, but, you know, close enough. Rasviet still in the Aleutian Islands, and, you know, just eking out a living. You know, they are producing fur, and that's really about it. They're not doing much. How... Razvia, tell me. Actually, let's just press play. Can you... Oh my god, it is chugging right now. What is going on? They have the money, but they can't build anything because the settler is there. And yeah, if the settler is there, you can't build anything. Yeah, oh my god. It is lagging horribly. And I don't know why. Is it just because people are recruiting troops? What if I go down to speed 2? Like, I don't know. And because like I use my center mouse, I click with my center mouse to move the map. I don't know. It's not even that is getting fucky. Yeah, I don't know. We'll tank through it. It'll sort itself out in due time. But I just do not see how Mondstadt and Fontaine are going to be able to hold back Bulgaria. This is like another pivot. Not as big of a pivotal war as Tennis Balls was. But if Bulgaria wins and they take a sizable chunk out of Mondstadt, and Bulgaria starts to encroach into Italy, it's kind of like, what does that say about Fontaine? How strong is Fontaine really? Was them beating out Morocco and stuff a fluke? I don't know. It might have been a fluke. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink while this pans out. But as you can see from the map itself, Bulgaria and Shuravia, they're slowly getting deeper and deeper into Mondstadt's territory. They lose a battle up north. Okay, maybe they lost a battle, but they're bouncing right back. Fontaine can't hold the line. Wherever there's like a small victory for Mondstadt and Fontaine, Bulgaria bounces right back and is able to clap them in the cheeks. Facial cheeks, not ass cheeks, you know. We are a PG-13 channel here, probably, maybe. Haven't checked in with the governing bodies as to what age rating this channel is, considering my foul mouth, probably actually rated R. Oh, that new flavor is interesting. That has a bit of bite to it. I got a new flavor from Gamersupps recently, and it's not a normal flavor where it's like sweet or it's tart or anything. It's like they try to make it a tiny bit like have a spice to it, which I've never tried before, and it's interesting. It's not bad, but it's also not my favorite. I have to drink a little bit more of it to get a fuller grasp, but it's not too bad right now. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I mean, then again, I say I don't really like it, or it's not my favorite and all that, but then I talk to my friends, and I don't like beer or anything. I don't like drinking beer, wine, anything like that. But then for shots, for like small shots of alcohol and like vodka and stuff, I'm not a fan of vodka, I'm not a fan of tequila, but I'll take some Fireball whiskey. And then when I say that to my friends, they're like, oh, Virinity, what the fuck? Why you want to drink Fireball? Even with Chaser, that shit is disgusting. It's like, what do you mean? It's not that bad, it's just like drinking mouthwash. How is that any worse than what y'all drink? Anyways, enough of my ramblings. Bulgaria has taken the capital of Mondstadt, is fully occupying the northern half of Mondstadt, and it's kind of just game, set, and match, more or less. Bulgaria still fielding over 800,000 troops, and then Fontaine, surprisingly, Fontaine's keeping up in the military numbers, but even then, the quality of Fontaine's army is not up to snuff. The discipline and tactics being so disproportionately favoring Bulgaria means that what is Fontaine supposed to do in these battles? They're just losing more troops than the enemy, even if they win. So it's just kind of like, it's kind of a done deal. Unfortunately, Mondstadt is just going to be losing territory again. And you know, thinking back to previous campaigns, this is kind of interesting that the preeminent power in Central Europe that has like a lot of traditionally German lands actually is losing to external wars, because previously, like, the dominant force in Central Germany, or just Central Europe in general, who takes like a lot of German lands, I'm used to seeing them do very, very well. But this is probably like the first campaign that I've seen where that's not truly the case. It's actually a little bit different. So Bulgaria pieced out. They took some nice land in Italy, including the key fort at Brescia. And it's not a lot of high development land, but still, it's key land, including that estuary at Ferrara. So that's more trade power going to the way of Bulgaria inside of an end node. So it's going to be some good stuff. Some good stuff rolling into Bulgaria's coffers. And Mondstadt just needs to recover if they can. Fontaine, they're still doing fine in terms of their military. They can rebuff their military no matter what. It's just Mondstadt's in shambles just a little bit. They really need to rebuild as much as they can before tennis ball comes back, you know? Bulgaria is annexing Shuravia, and that should be done by 1897, which, you know, not, in short, not going to be done this campaign. I am also kind of waiting to see if Sumeru goes after Loibuk again. I would not be shocked if there is a 4th or 5th crusade against my child. But, we'll see. Vijayanagara allied with the Timurids. Fadl allied with Astrakhan. Ardalan, Morocco, and Sofala. Sofala is still like the really big power in South Africa / East Africa. But they still have not been able to like fully root out Paradox 2. For as weak as Paradox 2 has been seen lately, they still have enough land and enough troops to be a thorn in the side of whoever. Especially even like Fontaine. If Fontaine doesn't pay any attention to West Africa and Paradox 2 like occupies all of this, that's still gonna be pushing up the war exhaustion. Oh my goodness. And then we have Morocco over here. Morocco is allied with Fadl and Ionia, but Ionia is not really too big of a threat. And Fadl's not that big of a threat either. Astrakhan is still very, very powerful. They dominate most of the steppe. But MNT is also there to contest for that title. MNT is just chilling, doing their own thing. Avenkia is still alive somehow. Yugra got fully annexed. Did Saka get fully annexed? They did. Where's the core? Yes, they lost all of their land, and, well, there's only cores of them left. Sumeru is going after Loibuk again. I called it. Ya boy called it. With 6 years left to go, Sumeru goes back against Loibuk and is willing to exercise that, like, 1.5 million man army. It's, Loibuk, good luck. I don't think you're getting out of this alive. Or, well, unscathed is more appropriate. Sumeru, do you need to dedicate that many fucking troops? Look at that. Look at 147,000 fucking cannons. Do you need that much? Are you just sending a statement? Is that it? Jesus Christ. And also the defensiveness at Sumeru's forts is actually pretty good. Is that also mountains, by the way? No. They did safeguard holy sites. So that gives global defensiveness. Meanwhile, Loibuk doesn't have nearly as good defensiveness. It's all just... the fortifications are in tatters compared to Sumeru. Let's go ahead and see the quality, see if anything has changed. Sumeru has the discipline. Morale is the same. Tactics very, very slightly favors Sumeru. So, it's kind of said and done for me, personally. Loibuk just will not be able to match this. There's oh my god, they're going to be recruiting so many troops. My game is about to fucking lag, I can tell. But let's keep going. Till 1820, December 31st. Is there any going to be pushes? Oh, okay. Sumeru's leaving some of their troops out to dry. I'm not really sure that's going to make much of an impact, but sure. While this is going on, I'm going to take a sip of my other drink. I got 2 shakers with me. Feels good. Yep, Sumeru's taking some land. Sumeru's taking some forts because they just take forts so quickly. That siege ability is really fucking good. Even this stack of 169,000 doesn't mean anything when you see this quite literal river of troops from Sumeru storming into central China. What can be done against that? I have no idea. I don't think you, the viewer, have any idea on what to do either. It's just, and even this, like right here. Jesus Christ. It's a victory, but it's a Pyrrhic victory at that. The only way I see Loibuk actually, like, maybe squeaking out a win is, like, if they manage to win battles in very select locations. Like, they really pick and choose their battles to the point where, yes, they win the overwhelming majority and are able to drive back Sumeru. Because, again, the Crusade Casus Belli is focused on superiority in terms of battles won. If you can't, you can occupy all the provinces you want, but if you're losing big battles, regardless of that, the war score is not going to favor you at all. And we're seeing that right now. Loibuk has taken really key and precise battles, and they're winning those battles. They may not be stack wiping, but they're winning those battles, and that's giving them plus 21 war score. But the day is still early. The war is still young. Loibuk is still gonna have to prove their worth in terms of defeating this 1 million plus army from Sumeru. They have not been able to do so before. I have no reason to believe they will be able to do so now, but we gotta play it out. We gotta see it to the end. Sumeru concentrating their forces in the north and the south a little bit, but Loibuk is concentrating most of their troops in the south. Another big battle breaking out at the fort, or near the fortress of Yulin. But Sumeru is really looking to reinforce, and Loibuk finally Loibuk finally loses a big battle. So that war score gonna slowly tick in favor of Sumeru, maybe. But Sumeru is clapped back. Yulin is now the site of a Loibuk victory, a second victory at that. So plus 15 war score in favor of the yellow side. Should I just say yellow side and green side? I might just do that, honestly. But yeah, it's tough goings, and you know the north is not where Loibuk's capital is. Luckily or unluckily, I don't know. But yeah, they're gonna need to. Sumeru is eventually gonna need to go down south toward Jiujiang and siege that down if they really want to be putting the pressure on in terms of war exhaustion. And honestly, hey, they have arrived. Loibuk, they have arrived. You need to do something. Otherwise, this is going to get very ugly very quickly, and you're going to get a lot of unrest and a lot of bad things happening to your economy. Yeah, the war score is ever slowly going in favor of Sumeru. Even though Sumeru... Okay, there's a big battle up in the north. Loibuk's going to lose that. Wow, Loibuk can almost get 1 million troops on the ground. That's a lot. Oh, I didn't even see this. Oh man, I was paying too much attention in the east. But Tennis Ball is thinking, hey, I feel like I need to make myself known, make myself felt across all of Europe. So the last barrier in the way of that is Bulgaria and Shuravia. Therefore, it is a tennis ball Shuravian imperialist war, meaning the capital is at Shuravia's or the goal is at Shuravia's capital here in Chernigov. Man, there is no rest, and already Bulgaria is below 700,000 troops. That's a little worrying for Bulgaria, just like it's a little worrying that Tennis Ball is below 900,000 troops. Tennis Ball is rapidly recruiting more troops as fast as they can, and man, the front for this war is huge. There's all this, because remember, Donau land is in a personal union, so Donau land is completely fair game in this war to be sieged down. So there is a southern front over here. There's a northern front, I guess, over here in the Baltic, and then an eastern front, if you want to call it that, where because Tennis Ball has land where they took from Kazan. It is intense. I don't know if we're gonna finish this war before the game ends. This is, good gods. And what's the quality difference? Discipline is the same. Morale very slightly favors Bulgaria. Tactics is the same. Man, this feels like a very even war. Holy shit. Like, because Loibuk and Sumuru, we kind of know who's the more powerful one in there inherently. Bulgaria and Shuravia are proving to be quite the match so far. Tennis Ball is pulling out all the stops, though. They are getting all the mercenaries, getting all of the funds rolling through so that they can recruit as many troops and push back Bulgaria. And to Tennis Ball's credit, they're doing a lot of damage in this front line over here. So many clashes, so many battles that have been happening. And Bulgaria is hemorrhaging troops. They are just hemorrhaging troops. You can watch that troop counter on Bulgaria. It's fluctuating up and down all the time, but more so, it's fluctuating downward. That now Bulgaria is below 600,000 troops. Shuravia below 500,000 troops. Oh shit, wrong way. I accidentally clicked on the map, but yeah, Tennis Ball is grinding down the enemy, but at the same time, Tennis Ball is also losing a lot of troops of their own. There's so much blood being spilled. The rivers around the map might as well be painted red because of how many fucking troops are dying and how much blood is being spilled. Holy shit. Donau land is being sieged down, but Shuravia is being fully invaded too from the north, and there is no sense of urgency from Shuravia and Bulgaria to stop the Koini invasion of the north. Koini and Tennis Ball, they are really just trying to bulldoze through Shuravia's northern sector. Meanwhile, Bulgaria and Shuravia, they're trying to stick a thorn into Tennis Ball's midwestern half, I guess. I don't know what you would call this section, but they're going toward Berlin and Danzig, that sort of area. Oh my god. And I'm going to pause it real quick because I want to see how it's going in the east. Loibuk is in MNT. Avenkia. MNT is going after Avenkia, and then Loibuk is allied with them, or it's a tributary or something. Oh, tributary. So Loibuk is trying to defend against that, but Loibuk is still suffering at the hands of Sumuru. It seems as though some big battles were lost by Loibuk, and they have not been able to really recover. So it is minus 15 war score in favor of Sumuru. Ardalan, what are you doing here? Oh, there's some smaller wars going on. I got you. Fontaine is actually going after Morocco, Fadel, and Ionius, so Fontaine is really just trying... Fontaine sees what Tennis Ball is doing and is probably looking at this war with Bulgaria as okay, this is an opportunity for me to power up, to recover some lost land, some lost development, and prepare for when Tennis Ball is maybe a little bit weaker, or maybe when Mondstadt gets attacked again by Tennis Ball. But let's keep going. We have less than 2 years to go. Tennis Ball taking a big fight in Donau land. But Bulgaria, Shuravia, that's not a good engagement at all. Tennis Ball is right there. And Sure, Tennis Ball gets driven out, but it is... Oh, you're taking so many losses for this. So many losses. I mean, God, even gods bleed, you know? Bulgaria and Shuravia are really proving that no matter how big Tennis Ball becomes, with all their personal unions and all that, they can still suffer. And keep in mind, the war goal has not been taken over. Chernigov is still alive and well. It has not been sieged once. Tennis Ball and Koini, they're making way through the northern part of Shuravia, but it's very slow. It's actually like allowing Tennis Ball to slug it out with Bulgaria across like Central Europe, and both sides are bleeding out because of it. It's not easy. All right, these final months of the campaign, we will go down to speed 3, and Chernigov is finally under siege. Koini has a stack of 90,000 troops over there, and the siege is going to go pretty quickly. Bulgaria, Shuravia, what do you plan on doing? Tennis Ball seems to have just more gas in the tank to outlast you. Unfortunately, that's just what happens when when a country or a tag stationed in the Low Countries pops off and absolutely does wonders with their starting position. It's just, what do you do? Oh man. It just feels like no matter what you throw at Tennis Ball, no matter the gauntlet, no matter the war, they can come out on top. And it's not because they're doing this alone. They aren't doing this alone at all. If Koini was not in this war, if Koini was not under personal union, I have confidence that Tennis Ball would not be this ambitious. Because the naval AI for Koini is fucking top notch. Holy shit. It just, like, you have the number of wars that Tennis Ball has been involved in, and by association Koini, the fleet over here transporting so many troops over to the mainland is unreal. You don't see that in vanilla EU4. You only see that in a campaign like this, where we use Zorm AI. God damn. Loibuk, they lost that war, and Sumuru takes just a little bit more land. Just a little bit more land. They took Kaifeng, and they took Mile. So it's dire times for Sumuru indeed. As Avenkia, they also are in dire straits as well. We close in on the final months of this campaign. Fontaine, they're struggling a little bit in West Africa, but in terms of Morocco's mainland, Morocco is fucked. Absolutely fucked. There's no doubts about that. Chernigov has been fully taken over, and it does look like it is probably lights out for Bulgaria and Shuravia. But even as we close out this campaign and we can have a safe forecast for the end of this war right here, it's like Tennis Ball was never really in any danger. Tennis Ball was never in any serious, like, danger. Sure, their military resources have been stretched thinner than they ever have been before. But doesn't matter. Bulgaria and Shuravia, they just did not have enough to pull it off. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the entire campaign. Campaign 14, Dubious Claims, finished before your very eyes. I say it at the end of every one of these campaigns, but truly I do enjoy doing these campaigns. It is always a pleasure to put on these campaigns and to host a variety of submissions everywhere, and of all shapes and sizes. It never really gets old. It's always good fun to see what people come up with and what people try to do with their submissions. I very much appreciate it. And also all the drama that happens with the submissions as they fight each other, I'll also switch over to the other map modes while we go through this. And yeah, I'll give my closing thoughts on this campaign. Very fun as usual. I thought at first we weren't going to get too many participants because people were busy doing real life stuff. I mean, hell, real life always comes before this kind of stuff. But I'm happy we got enough submissions. It's very heartwarming for me to see that despite the hiccups in daily life, people still like to come back to these campaigns and participate. It is always a pleasure. And, you know, I personally don't mind recording this stuff. It gives me a reason to come back to EU4. It gives me a reason to record again. And I don't mind doing this at all. There are times where it's kind of like, oh my goodness, I'm so tired after work. I don't feel like recording at all. But, you know, I push myself through to do it. And I am always thankful in the end that, yes, I did actually do some recording. And, you know, I am also hoping that the people watching this, you the viewer, I'm also hoping you enjoy seeing what happens in these campaigns. So as I go through this final stretch of like the map modes and stuff, there's a lot of different cultures that got spread around, even some Japanese culture in Arabia, Bengali culture being dominant in North India. You got Uzbek culture, Sino-Altaic, Ostyak, Tungus, and Yakut. Even some Slovak from Scottish China. Although I think Scottish China is still over here, right? No. Scottish China? What happened to Scottish China? Oh no, they got annexed. Oh no, I thought they were still alive. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Scotty, but Scottish China was not meant to be. But hey, your submission of Shuravia definitely did. It made a big impact. And even when we thought Scottish China wasn't I'm not Scottish China. I mean, even when we thought Shuravia was going to get kind of manhandled after losing a war to the Wendish realm, they bounced back. The Wendish realm just a little bit too spread out, just a little bit too over-ambitious, and they were eventually pushed all the way back. They were divvied up and forced to just live out their days as a split nation. Look at that Italian culture, that Umbrian culture, thanks to the Papal States spreading that around. Got that Elkorxer culture and Takrin culture as well. Swiss culture, because hey, Switzerland was around for a while. Got the Etrurian culture as well from Rhetia, and then I can't remember what spread was it Lemnos? I think it was Lemnos. And then, you know, Ryazanian culture, Sorbian culture. They got that Walloon as well. Prussian culture from the Teutonic Order. Yes, the Teutonic Order from all the way at the beginning of the campaign. And yeah, just overall good times indeed. Nubian culture, Tunisian and Moroccan culture. Is there anything else? I think we clicked on like all the culture groups. Got that Oirat, got that Tibetan, because I remember Lhasa was doing very well at the beginning. Shan culture as well. And then you got the Chinese cultures as well, because my boys of Reichak, Louis Degar, and Loibuk were doing their own things. And I did not forget the warring states that, for some reason, the warring states could not get any allies at all and were subsequently partitioned by surrounding powers. But yeah, that's the culture map mode, more or less. Let's go ahead and see some of the ledger. I'm not going to go through every single thing of the ledger, but you know, actually, before we go to the ledger, I think there's a couple other map modes. Let's go ahead and see the development map mode. Yes, Europe, very highly developed. Even though this is a province expansion mod that adds so many more provinces across the old world, especially in Europe and out into the steppe with Kazan and Astrakhan, very highly developed. And there's even some provinces across like Anatolia, North Africa, that are really well done. Look at Paradox 2 developing this land in Africa. Sofala having some good stuff as well. Vijayanagara, they were not at war for like the past 150 years. So Vijayanagara, I guess, was reinvesting those points into their own land. The Timurids were doing the same thing. MNT developing the Silk Road regions because, hey, they kind of were in control of the Silk Road. Loibuk, there's pockets of like super highly developed land, but then a lot of other pockets of or stretches of land that are just really underdeveloped, both in Southeast Asia and in China. And I can understand why no one develops Tibet, because it's glacial. It is really hard to develop stuff over there. Korean Peninsula also very, very underdeveloped too. The Japan, it's kind of like a middling. Manchuria with Nivk over here, as well as Loibuk. There is some development here, including at Hinka with 42 development. And Siberia has some okay development as well. Astrakhan probably helped some of that, I suspect. I mean, if you look at Kuznetsk with 38 development. And what's it called? It is also a coal-producing province, so I think people want that coal. Malgana also, they were just keeping to themselves the whole time, and they were just developing Australia, developing that outback. And then Japanese Australia, the colonial nation, was just doing their own thing, minding their own business, and also getting driven out of Australia, as we saw. And not much was happening in the Pacific Islands. Actually, no one colonized Hawaii. Hawaii was left to the natives. Interesting. That's the first time I've seen that happen. I will say though, if we do another province expansion mod, I will very likely add some way for like maybe the idea groups for every nation to get like an additional colonist or something, or maybe I'll do it as like an age ability. I don't know, or maybe an institution benefit. Like, hey, you've embraced feudalism, you get an extra colonist. I don't know, something like that. But I will agree, Mackie probably has the same thoughts, that colonization was very slow despite how much I injected settler growth. If you see how much settler growth there is, just look at Malgana. Malgana has at Tech 32, and they have plus 305 settlers per year. But even that, even plus 305 settlers per year, it was not enough to take over all of the world. So yeah, I'll think about that some more in the next campaign. Before there is a campaign 15 though, I do have to upgrade to Windows 11, unfortunately, because I'm still on Windows 10 right now, and I know that I'm gonna need to upgrade to Windows 11. I'm not happy about it, but it is a necessity. Also, if you look at this, all of North and South America completely prosperous. That's some good shit. North and South America don't give a shit about what's happening in the old world. They are just like, I guess that's not really my problem. Technology-wise, everyone is 32. Everyone is 32, baby. And I think that's really about it. Yeah, I guess we can do the dynasties too. Tennis ball, that dynasty spread very far. De la Tour, and then Chernigovsky, Gengisid, Korchige, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. The dynasty for Sumeru changes every time there's a new ruler because it is a theocracy. Sangama for Vijayanagara, Lunda, Umbewe, De la Tour, Nyanjaga, and then we have Toltekatu. And then, I'm not sure how to pronounce that for Potawatomi. Osoraini? I'm not entirely sure. House Kaya for over there in Japan. Sambas has Cebu. And then Shen for Loibuk. Ganesha. And then Nabhan for Oman. And then Napaljari for... what's it called? Malgana. You got Selangor for Malacca. Alright, so with that being said, oh, the Viri dynasty as well. Can't forget the Viri dynasty. And Al-Tadsi over there in Morocco. Alright, so let's go over some of the ledger and then we will be done. So, highest prestige, 99, that is no shock. Everyone is same tech level, everyone has the same ideas. Who has the most power projection? Yeah, Sumeru, MNT, yeah, 100. We are not surprised about that. Who has the most war exhaustion? Arawak. Interesting. Okay. Let's check out some governments. Who has the most absolutism? Vijayanagara with the most absolutism. Okay. Followed by Sambas and then Kaideria. And then most administrative efficiency is Vijayanagara, followed by Sambas and Kaideria as well. Interesting. And who has the least admin efficiency? Ionia, followed by Japanese Australia and Mondstadt. Alright. Score comparison, I need to go through that on my own, so I don't want to spoil people for a possible award in that category. Religions. Who has the most? Catholicism, okay. Followed by Hinduism because of Sumeru, and then you have Sunni Islam by Astrakhan, and Orthodox by Bulgaria. Okay. What else? I think we can do some military pages, and then we can be done. Highest morale in the world, Japanese Australia, followed by Mondstadt, and then Ardalan. Highest discipline in the world is Kaideria, followed by the Wendish realm and Vijayanagara. Highest siege ability is Teotl, followed by Potawatomi and then Malgana. Highest defensiveness is Sofala, followed by Bulgaria, Ardalan, and then Kazan. Highest professionalism, there's so many, so we don't even need that one. Highest army tradition, there's a lot for that as well, so don't even need to go over it. And in terms of pure army, like the total. In first place was Teotl, which doesn't surprise me. They control all of North America, followed by Sumeru, and then Kaideria, and then Fontaine, and then Astrakhan. God damn. That's so much. Who had the most army losses? I'm very curious. Sumeru with over 20 million losses, followed by Tennis Ball at 14 million and Loibuk at 14 million. God damn, hemorrhaging troops. Like I said, those rivers on the map, they might as well be just painted red because of how many troops are dying. I wasn't joking about that. Naval quality, who has the highest ship durability? Japan does. Followed by Loibuk and then Malacca. Okay. What about the highest navy tradition? Tennis Ball. Interesting. Followed by Fadl and then Koini. Okay. And I think... yeah, I don't think there's really anything else. I guess we can do like, what's the highest trade? What trade node has the highest total? Genoa, followed by the English Channel, and then Doha. Okay. And then Sevilla. Alright. Well, I guess that'll be it for the ledgers. And I guess for one last time in this campaign, we can go for that leaderboard as I zoom out on the world. Alright, so for the final time in this campaign, in first place is Tennis Ball. In second place is Sumeru. In third place is Fontaine. In fourth place is Teotl. In fifth place is Bulgaria. In sixth place is Loibuk. In seventh place is Astrakhan. And in eighth place is Kaideria. Your economic hegemon on the way up is Tennis Ball, and your fully maxed out military hegemon is Teotl. That'll be all for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I fully enjoyed doing this campaign. I hope you enjoyed watching this campaign as well. I don't exactly know when campaign 15 will be out or starting, but I can guarantee you, as long as there's interest in these campaigns, I'll keep hosting them. And I'll keep doing my submissions as well, and I hope the usual contenders come back with more submissions in the future. So that'll be all from me. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next campaign.